things at Anfield have gone from worrying to serious. Arne Slot's era started with excitement, optimism, and a Premier League trophy. But by December 2025, one thing is becoming painfully clear. Liverpool are slipping. And unless something changes fast, the club risks losing more than just points. They risk losing their reputation. And so the question nobody wants to ask this early is suddenly unavoidable. Is it time for Slot to go? And if so, who is the right man to replace him? There are dream appointments, realistic contenders, tactical masterminds, and a few surprises the fanbase hasn't seen coming. Today, we break down the true shortlist the football world is talking about, the managers whose style, record, history, and personality could ultimately define Liverpool's next era. Let's begin with a popular candidate amongst fans and a man whose name feels tied through to Liverpool's DNA, Xabi Alonso. Alonso might still be the most popular manager in world football, and understandably so. He carries the calm authority of someone born to lead elite teams. And after his incredible work at Leverkusen, he stepped into one of the biggest jobs on the planet, Real Madrid. And just like in Germany, he's brought clarity, control, and a distinct identity to the Bernabeu. At Leverkusen, he typically used a 3-4-3 or a 3-2-5 structure in possession, given his side incredible stability and dominance. His build-up was patient, controlled, using rotations in midfield to pull opponents apart, wide players stretching the pitch and forcing defences to make impossible decisions. That system won titles, revived careers, and displayed some of the most intelligent positional football in Europe. At Real Madrid, Alonso has adapted his principles rather than copy-pasting them, with different personnel and a squad built around technical midfield excellence. Now he favours a more fluid 4-3-3 that morphs into a 3-2-5 during long phases of possession. His fullbacks stay more conservative, his midfielders roam between the lines, and his forwards attack half spaces Madrid's world-class squad. His rise has been a compelling story. He transformed Bayer Leverkusen into record-breaking champions against all of the odds. He modernised Madrid without losing their winning mentality, albeit he hasn't had enough time to cement himself amongst the Madrid fans fully, but he has shown he can adjust his system to the players and not force players into a system. For Liverpool, Alonso would represent elegance, emotional connection, and one of the clearer tactical identities available in modern football. With Trent gone and the right side of the pitch in a transition, Liverpool's squad now suits his approach far better than the previous Klopp-era structures. His football doesn't rely on inverted fullbacks or specific profiles, it simply relies on intelligence, discipline, and order. The only question is whether Liverpool can prize him away from Madrid. But in terms of the ideal candidate, statistically, emotionally, and philosophically, Alonso still feels like the one built for Anfield. Andoni Iraola. Iraola is the rising name in coaching circles. Not flashy, but incredibly respected. Bournemouth were expected to struggle when he arrived. Instead, they became one of the Premier League's most aggressive and tactically impressive sides. Iraola usually lines his teams up in a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3, but the formation isn't the whole story. The movement is. His football's built on controlled intensity. His teams press high, but not recklessly. They close passing lanes, they hunt in coordinated waves, and they force opponents into rushed touches. And when they win the ball, the transition is instant. Wide runners explode forward. Midfielders push into space, and the attack becomes direct and fearless. This is the approach that turned ordinary Bournemouth players into genuine Premier League threats. It broke several club records and earned some serious admiration from clubs looking for the next elite pressing coach. For Liverpool, Iraola represents a return to high-energy football, the kind the fans connected with for years under Klopp. He would revitalise the team's athleticism and aggression, he would suit the younger profiles Liverpool now rely on, and re-establish a combative, front-footed identity. The question there, though, is whether he can scale this approach to a club with the expectations that Liverpool FC has, and whether he can shoulder the pressure that comes with managing a major club. If he can, the ceiling is enormous. Oliver Glasner. Oliver Glasner is the quiet architect, the coach who avoids the spotlight but leaves behind structured, highly disciplined teams wherever he goes. If Liverpool want stability above all else, Glasner may be the smartest choice. His teams almost always operate within a 3-4-2-1 formation, the wing-backs providing width, two creators positioned between the lines, and striker leading pressing triggers. Outside of possession, his sides compress the pitch fiercely, eliminating central spaces and forcing opponents toward the wings. Once the ball's recovered, it's a sharp, fast, rehearsed transition. This is a model that's won him the Europa League with Frankfurt, pushed Wolfsburg into the Champions League, and transformed Palace into one of the Premier League's most tactically mature sides. At Palace, he even delivered the club's first major trophy, a real testament to his structure-first philosophy. For Liverpool, though, he would bring order. He'd rebuild the defensive shape, reduce inconsistency, and give Liverpool a stable platform. With Trent gone and Liverpool no longer leaning on hybrid fullbacks, Glasner's wing-back-oriented structure could match the current squad's strengths very naturally. He's not the emotional pick, he's not the noisy pick, but he might be the most reliable. Unai Emery. Unai Emery is the veteran, the strategist whose career resurgence has placed him back amongst Europe's top tactical managers. What he's achieved at Villa alone elevated his profile significantly. Emery typically uses a 4-4-2 or a 4-2-3-1, but what defines him isn't the shape. It isn't the formation, it's the detail. He prepares meticulously for every opponent. His defensive structure is narrow and compact, forcing rivals into harmless wide areas. His attacks, though, rely on quick, intricate combinations through the centre, with runners timing their movements behind the defensive lines. This tactical clarity allowed Villarreal to reach a Champions League semi-final, and it's revived Aston Villa into Champions League qualification. It's rebuilt players who had been all but written off. At Liverpool, Emery provides instant improvement. He brings structure, confidence, and a well-defined identity. Nothing would feel chaotic. Nothing would feel improvised. Liverpool would become difficult to break down and dangerous in transition. If Liverpool wants someone to stabilise the present whilst preparing the future, Emery sits right at the top of the list. Julian Nagelsmann. Julian Nagelsmann is the visionary, the tactician who treats football like a puzzle only he can solve. He's bold, innovative, and constantly experimenting. Nagelsmann shifts between formations effortlessly, a 3-4-2-1, a 4-2-2-2, a 4-3-3, sometimes all in one game. His football is just as fluid. Players rotate between roles. Midfielders drift into unfamiliar spaces. Pressing begins from unexpected angles. His goal is always the same though: create overloads, disrupt opponents, impose fluency. This philosophy took Hoffenheim into the Champions League, guided Leipzig to a Champions League semi-final, and delivered titles with Bayern Munich. It also showcases his ability to manage the big personalities alongside the young talent and high-pressure expectations. At Liverpool, Nagelsmann would represent a complete tactical evolution. He could rebuild the right side of the pitch, reshape midfield dynamics, and create a fluid, unpredictable attacking structure. Again, without Trent, the tactical canvas is wide open. Nagelsmann thrives on blank canvases. The risk? His ideas take time to absorb. The reward, though, Liverpool could become one of Europe's most modern, most adaptable teams. Jurgen Klopp, the dream return. And finally, the name that still whispers through Anfield, Jurgen Klopp. The man who rebuilt Liverpool, the man who brought back belief, the man who delivered one of the greatest eras in the club's history. Heavy metal pressing, explosive transitions, emotional intensity, unity between players, managers, supporters. His legacy needs no explanation. The Premier League, the Champions League, the Club World Cup, domestic cups, legendary 97 and 99-point seasons. But would Klopp return? Realistically, probably not yet. But he didn't leave because he fell out of love with Liverpool, right? He left because he needed rest. And if history has taught the football world anything, is that legendary managers sometimes come back. If Klopp ever felt ready again, if Liverpool ever made the call, it would be one of football's most iconic reunions, and that alone keeps his name in the conversation. Those are the strongest and most realistic candidates to lead Liverpool into the next era, each with a different philosophy, each offering a different path forwards. Did we miss someone? Who do you want to see in the Liverpool dugout next season? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget, like, subscribe and hit the notification bell, and we'll see you in the next one.